You know, the strangest thing just happened to me. I've been calling my men at Judge Tarrant Jenkins' telephone, even though he's with Angelina Ballerina. My men are able to access his phone. And I was leaving a message talking about how even without the power, I vacuum cleaned my bedroom and my closet and the bathroom this morning, and that I would be able to do all the Gail. And I went for a walk around 5 o'clock, which is early for me because I like to go at dusk because it's so hot. And then I came back. We lost power. I was talking to my men on the phone, and we lost power at around 2:30 or 3 o'clock. So I thought, oh no, they must have had to turn off the power because I didn't lose power during the storm. So my guess was that they had to turn off the power to help the houses out here that didn't have power. Apparently the lines were connected, and if they had to cut us off so they wouldn't be electrocuted while they were working on those lines, which I think was a correct assumption. So we lost power at around 2:30, 3 o'clock. So I thought, oh, well, I guess all that canned food and everything I bought is going to be useful after all. And I got my battery operated fan working. So I called my man and said, well, I got to say something good here. Despite everything Angelina has tried to do to try to make me disobey the Gail commandments, I have been able to obey every single one of the Gail commandments before, during, and after the hurricane. Even today when we lose power, I said I already vacuumed. Though now that we got power back, I'm going to vacuum again because I usually do the whole apartment. So we got power back, and now I'm going to be. It's really amazing. I went out of my way to make sure I did all the Gale commandments because I wanted to use the strength, keep my Gale shield at maximum strength, and plus I was willing my Gale shield to protect the United States and me from this hurricane. And when this hurricane went by, it was so funny. They thought it might make landfall here, but it just kept skirting the coast. And then when it got to Melbourne, it went out. It went out further east. I thought, that's the Gale shield. My Gale shield's pushing it out. So it worked. It didn't make landfall till it got to South Carolina. And at that point, it was a Category 1. So my Gale shield, because I obeyed all the Gale commandments. And what's amazing is I was able to do it because I didn't lose power until today. And even today, if I didn't get, I would have got power back by tomorrow, for sure, because that's what FPL said, Florida Power Night, when I called them. So, I've actually used my little camera here that Zach Knight had me go out and buy this right before the hurricane. And this is my new camera here. It's a little Vivitar. This is marvelous. I paid like $40 for this. I said, Zach, isn't that a violation of the Gale commandments? He says, yeah, but you're using the money. The other camera that I used to take pictures of my trip to LA broke. So I thought, well, I just got refunded for it. And actually the refund money came out to about $50 for that, plus the card reader, plus the batteries and everything I got to make it work. And that's exactly how much this one costs. So Zach said, well, you're just using your refund money to get another camera. And he said, your fans really enjoy your outside footage and stuff. So I got a lot of outside footage, including I went outside a little bit when the winds were rolling. And I got a little bit of that. We didn't really get it that bad, and that's a blessing. So you're not going to see anything like trees going. I've actually seen hurricanes where a palm tree bent all the way over like this, and the roots were coming out like this out of the ground, you know. When I was a little girl, I don't remember which one that was. It might have been Betsy, but I remember seeing that when I was looking out from the screen porch. We were staying at a friend's house. It was a really bad hurricane. What I did during the hurricane is I cut my hair because I didn't lose power, and some of my pictures look really crappy because, you know, I was real busy dealing with the hurricane and my hair was going. But I did notice that I needed to trim here a little bit, so I cut my hair. And so my hair looks better now than it did in some of the pictures. But for you, if you want to see the 6-hour-long movie, it's like divided up into different parts that I made of my experience with Matthew, go to my Patreon page. And you'll get to see, I took a lot of outside pictures too, like when I went for my walks, like the day right after the hurricane. And the amazing thing is I was able to do all the Gale commandments. And I actually moved everything away from these windows. And you can, and in case the windows busted. And but even though these are hurricane impact windows. So you can see all that, and I would go right up to the window and take pictures of the hurricane winds. So I felt pretty safe in here, though I couldn't sleep the night of the hurricane because it was so noisy. We have now like a metal corrugated roof, and so when it's really blustery, it sounds like it sounds like an alarm clock going off every 10 minutes. So I couldn't sleep until the winds died down. So go to my Patreon page and watch the movie that I made of it. I covered just about the whole experience on camera or talking and stuff, and the only thing is, excuse the way I looked because I was dealing with a hurricane, so I wasn't worried about looking like a glamour queen in my shots. So what I'm going to do is post this to YouTube. Then I'll be spending the rest of the night posting these videos to Patreon. I may not have them all up till early on the 9th. So I just wanted to let you all know that I did make like a 6-hour movie of my experience with Matthew, and what I did to prepare, what I did during the hurricane, and what I did right after the hurricane. I made sure my obsession was to obey the Gail commandments because I figured I could strengthen my Gail shield and keep that hurricane off from making landfall. And if you'll notice, it didn't make landfall till South Carolina, though they thought it would do it right here where I lived. I have power. That's the Gail shield. My Gail shield worked. I made sure to obey all the Gail commands. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off, and you're going to get all the little nitpicky details of my experience with Matthew at my Patreon page. For $1 a month, you can go view all those videos. Like 6 or 7 hour long movie.